In this beginner Blender Python exercise, we're going to be going over how to create a script that creates this scene without using any modifiers. And if you stick around, I'll show you some exercises to solidify your knowledge. Hi, I'm Victor Stepanoff. I'll be guiding you through this beginner Blender Python exercise. Today, we're going to be creating this scene right here. This scene consists of triangle curves with a bevel. We won't be using the Blender modifier stack, but we will be using Python for loops to repeat some code. If you don't know what a for loop is, don't worry. By the end of this video, we're going to take a look at what it is and how you can use it on this particular example. All right, to get started, let's set up our workspace. I'm going to go into Blender and go into the scripting workspace. I'm going to hit new to create a new script, and hovering over the 3D viewport, I'm going to press AX and then delete to clear the scene. And that's it. That's a pretty simple setup that we have today. Before we write any code, we need to think through the steps that we would take when doing this by hand. So look at the scene and think of the steps that you would do by hand without using any modifiers to achieve the same result. Knowing that these are curves, that they have a bevel, and knowing that they increase in size. So when starting out with a blank scene, what would you do to achieve this? Think through these steps and write them down as if you were telling a friend. I'm going to write these steps that I would take in this text editor with some comments so we can fill out later as we go through this video. Let's take a closer look at these comments. At the very top of our script, we're going to be extending Python to allow to send commands to Blender or press Blender's buttons. Next, we'll need some extra functionality in terms of math so we can do some rotations. The very first step after we extend Python's functionality is going to be adding a triangle mesh into the scene and then getting a reference to this triangle mesh. So we're actually going to be telling Python that, okay, we added this and now we want to manipulate and do things to this triangle mesh. So we need a reference to this mesh. Next, we're going to rotate this mesh using our reference, convert the mesh into a curve so we can later apply a bevel to it. And then finally, we'll finish off by shading smooth. I skipped the part where we repeat this multiple times to get the scene that we wanted. We'll get to that as soon as we're done with the first pass on this triangle. All right, first things first, let's import BPY right here at the top. So this is going to be extending Python to allow us to communicate with Blender. Next, let's skip for now this math part and go straight into adding the triangle mesh into the scene. I'm going to do this by hand to get the code from the info panel down below. So I'm going to hit Shift A and then select circle and then select these properties right here and just set the vertices to 3 and just modify the radius a bit so we can get this preview command right here below. I'm going to go into the info panel down here and just Control C, copy it, and paste it right underneath this comment. All right, so we'll need vertices and setting the radius. The rest we can just select by holding Shift and pressing the End key and just delete that. All right, so let's select everything by hitting AX delete. And then actually let's just modify this and just set it to 1 and run the script. Right? See, it's adding the same triangle mesh as we just saw a minute ago. And now we need to get a reference to this particular mesh. let's go into the interactive Python console right here and type in BPY context, hit tab to finish that, right? Don't have to type everything. And then start typing active, and then we need object, and I'm hitting tab to get this preview of the available commands. So I'm going to hit enter right here, and as you can see, it's giving me this current active object is the circle. It's the same thing in an outliner. Yeah, of course this is a triangle, but I think we can live with that. So let's select this code right here and paste it right underneath this particular comment, right? So this is going to be the triangle mesh. I'm just going to copy that, and we can't use spaces in variable names, so I'm creating a new variable called triangle mesh and assigning whatever is the current active object. Since we just added our mesh, the current active object is going to be this triangle mesh. Okay, next we need to rotate our mesh 90 degrees. So to do that, let's just do that first by hand by opening this panel right here and rotating like minus 90. Of course, you can't really see anything, so give me a second right here. Just gonna do this to see better. So about like 90, minus 90. So to see the code for this rotation, we can look down here in the info panel and find this code right here. As you can see that this is set to 90, minus 90, right? But down here it is not really 90. It's actually like this decimal point number, right? This is actually in radians. So if you hover over this transform right here, it will show you the radians right below, right? We need to use radians to actually set the rotations in Python. To do that, as I mentioned before, we need to extend Python's math functionality. And in particular, we need to import math. So this module has a ton of math functionality that we're not going to be using today. We only need the math radians functionality that converts degrees to radians. So math radians, and as you can see, if you press tab right here on in the interactive Python console, it gives us a nice doc, right? It gives us that whatever degrees that is x right here is going to be converted into radians. So let's just convert minus 90, right? And right there we have the same value as we have for this like rotation when we turned it, right? So I'm just going to copy this into the Python interactive Python console, and let's actually just copy this right here, copy, and then paste it right into that, right? Like so. So actually it's probably can't see it, so I'll just set it to 0, right? And then I'm going to go back into the interactive Python console, hit the up arrow to repeat the previous command, and hit enter. So see, it sets it now. Let's just take this code right here and paste it underneath this comment. Since this part is exactly referencing the current active object, we can replace it with this reference, this variable that we created right here. So I'm just going to paste in like that. So it's the same thing. Next, since I don't really like this way of referencing the Euler's rotations, I'm going to replace this with a property x, a lot more readable, right? So we're modifying the triangle mesh, the rotation in particular, on the x-axis, right? And then we're converting some degrees and setting them to, and we're applying it right to the rotation. I would like to make it this even more readable by creating some variables here that describe what we're doing. So I'm gonna have some degrees, and then we're gonna have a radians function. So we're gonna paste that in, and like so. All right, so now we don't need this, and we're just gonna paste in. So as you can see, we're creating a variable that will contain this -90. This degrees we're passing into radians, so every single time we look at this code, we'll know that, okay, yeah, we're passing in degrees, so we can set some like degree, right, that we want. Then after this, we're gonna have some radians right here in this particular variable, and we're just gonna pass it along and set the rotation. So let's do just that. And I'm gonna select everything by hitting AX and then deleting everything and running the script. But before I do that, I'm gonna import math as I did right here, right? I'm just gonna copy this, right? Just paste it in here, because if I didn't do that, we would get an error, but we're not gonna get an error because I remember that we need to do that. Anyway, I'm gonna run the script. And as you can see, we just added a triangle mesh. All right, I'm gonna delete that again. I'm just gonna show you that this works. I'm gonna set it to 45. Just run that, see it's rotated -45. Right, that looks like it's working. I'm gonna undo this. All right, next we need to convert this mesh that we're creating into a curve, right? I'm just gonna run the script again, hide this, and I'm just gonna convert it by hand and then copy the code. So pretty straightforward. So I'm gonna right click on the mesh and then hit convert to and then curve. And then right at the bottom in the info panel, I'm just gonna copy and paste this, right? Super easy and straightforward. Now let's delete this, select and delete everything, run it again. And now you can see it is a curve in the outliner. And next we want to add bevel to our curve. Let's do that in the curve properties right here. I'm gonna actually do this curve and then collapse this geometry, and then let's do this depth right here, and then this resolution. All right, each time I modified both of these, we can go into the info panel and just copy this as well. So let's just do that. I'm going to update this to 0.5 and leave this at 16. I'm going to use the reference to the triangle mesh right here, the same thing. I'm going to just replace this because this is the same, just makes it more readable for us. And let's delete everything and run the script again. All right. As you can see, we have a bevel going on, but you can see that this is not shaded smooth. And you guessed it, I'm gonna right click and select shade smooth. Right here, shade smooth. And copy from the info panel. Right, I'm just copying, pasting today. Let's select everything again and delete and just rerun the script. And as you can see now, it is shaded smooth. Awesome. If there's something that you're not understanding, or maybe you have questions, make sure to ask them in the comments below. Or you can always DM me at cgpython on Instagram and Twitter. All right, let's start repeating this code to start creating the scene that we saw at the beginning. I'm gonna just move this out of the way for us to see more of the outliner. And so we're going to be repeating all of this over and over again to get a lot of triangles. Let's start with, actually, let's create a new variable. It's called a current radius, and then just set it to 1. So this is going to be this, right? And let's repeat this code. Let's just say 10 times. All right, this is a for loop. I'm going to select all of this and press tab to indent. So it's very important that you indent so Python understands that whatever's under this for loop, so under like this indentation, this will be repeated 10 times. So let's do that. Let's just delete everything and run this script. And as you can see, it looks like nothing changed. But if you look into the outliner, actually it did change. We are adding 10 circle meshes, or curves, sorry. So if you just select this and then press G, actually I'm gonna press Control Space to give us a better view. And as you can see, there's just a ton of these triangles right in the center, right? All right, this is great, but we need a way to not place them in the same place, right? So we'll need to introduce some variables to control the size of each one of these triangles. Let's do that right now. All right, so I've created some variables that we're going to use inside of this loop. The first variable I'm going to use is replace this. So we're going to be just controlling the number of times we repeat this code through this particular variable. And next we need to start modifying this particular radius. And we're going to do that by creating, so we have a current radius here set, right? But we're going to have to calculate this on every single iteration. So each time we go through this loop, it's like an iteration. And we would need to use the previous value. So the previous value of this radius, and then use this step to calculate the next. So this current plus the radius. So current plus radius equals the new value. So this is going to be the new thing that's going to go into here. And let's delete everything from the scene and run this. And it was clearly, I was thinking about radians when I was writing all this, because we need the radius, the radians right here, right? So yeah, here we go. Let's run that again. All right, finally. All right, let's see. So you can see we have the scene that we wanted to create. All right, let's summarize what we learned here today. The main thing I want you to take away from this video is how to use for loops to repeat code, right? So we have this for loop definition, and then inside this body, it gets repeated over and over again. I want you to notice how we use some variables to slightly tweak what happens inside of the body of the for loop, right? And produce something like this scene right here. Also, I want to underline that you can pretty much easily convert meshes into curves by just doing something by hand and copying from the info panel, right? The same goes for the bevel and shade smooth. All right, and as promised, your exercises to solidify your knowledge. For the first exercise, I want you to use this I right here to calculate the current radius. So I'm going to change the for loop like so, and I want you to use this I to calculate the current radius. Also, I want this to be not a triangle, but a hexagon. So I'm going to give you a slight tip about how you can figure out what you need to do with this I. I'm going to go into the interactive Python console, just paste this right here. Instead of this variable, I'm going to set to 10, right, hit enter, and then write I, and then hit enter 2 times. All right, there is your hint to solve this exercise. Try this out on your own and pause the video now. All right, I hope you did that. Let's see how I would do it. So the first things first, let's create this hexagons, right? So we're gonna select everything and just update the vert count to 6, right? And let's update the comments. It's gonna be a hexagon. It's hexagon, right? Current radius, triangle, mesh. Let's update all these to make sure that everything is consistent. Triangle, hexagon, Okay, I think I got everything. Let's see. Yes. All right. So that is that. So always remember to update your code to mean what like you're writing, right? You don't want to get confused later when you go back to the code in a month or in 6 or a year. All right. So now for the interesting part with the I. So let's actually do this in Interactive Python console first. I'm gonna grab this radius step right here and this for loop right here. I'm gonna hit enter and I'm gonna do I and then multiply, so times this radius step right here, and paste that. And as you can see, we're doing some calculations, and this multiply calculation is what I wanted you to try out. So let's replace it right here. And I'm gonna delete everything. So instead of doing this plus like each time calculating, I'm using this I since it's changing every single iteration, right? Like remember from the hint I gave you right here, right? It's constantly incrementing by 1, and we can use that. So let's do that. And as you can see, I got the similar result with just using multiplication instead of addition. All right. And for your second exercise, we're going to add a slight twist. We're going to be modifying the Z rotation of each of these hexagons just slightly. So each time, each iteration, we're going to do a slightly different rotation on the Z axis. So you're going to have something like this. Go ahead, try that on your own and pause the video now, and I'll show you how I would do it when you unpause it. All right, to add the Z rotation, we need to first start with copying this and just setting the Z part of it, right? All right, so this is going to be updated to Z. This will also get updated to Z. Let's just set this to 0 for now. So if we just run it right now, nothing will change because each time we're setting the Z rotation to 0, right? So it's going to look just as it did without, like before even we wrote any of this code, right? So now we need to kind of figure out how to update this every single iteration. And for that, as you remember, we created some variables outside of the for loop to help us. And in particular, we created a step that we used right here to calculate a new value for the current radius. And let's just do a similar thing. So let's go Z and then step, and then let's set it to 10 and use this Z step variable and just multiply it by I and select everything and delete it, and let's run it again. I'm pressing Control Space, and you can see that we got this particular scene. All right, I hope you learned something new today, and for more tutorials and exercises like this, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.